Welcome to episode 65 of the Practice Squad, a show where we talk about football, shoot the breeze, and make even the replacement refs cringe. I'm your host and fourth string quarterback Jeremy, joined each and every week by my co-host and backup long snapper Joseph. How's it going, man?
Well, probably not the time to bring it up, but are you hearing feedback on your end?
No.
I'm
You
hearing
sound
like
there's a little bit of like kind of background fuzziness on your
that.
side. I
I
think
hear that.
that's just ambient white noise.
Okay,
But
hearing like
nothing
a little like.
serious. Is it a serious thing?
No, it's not. I hear it. I just didn't know if it was bad on your end or something or what's going
Okay,
on.
no, it sounds pretty normal on my end. I usually hear
Okay.
something, but it nothing that like nothing where we need to, call off the show or anything.
Well, outside of that, I only have two words: Debo Samuel.
I was gonna say those are my two words too. We'll be saying those two words a lot. Um, okay, so we're live right here on YouTube every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific, and we don't normally have a lot of technical problems. um, we did not have a show last week because we were off for Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a wonderful time with family or friends or by yourself or whatever you chose to do. And we're back. We're back on it for this week, episode 65. So if you like what you hear and want to support us, don't hesitate to like, share, and if you're feeling extra generous, to subscribe. But of course, you can like, share, and subscribe even if you think you could run this show better than us. Okay, so this week we've got a game of the week to talk about, which we didn't tell you in advance because we didn't have a show last week, so it's a surprise. We have our Who Wrecked Face segment this week. Our commentators say the darndest things, and tricky picks, and of course we'll round out the show with our week 13 predictions. So, segment number one, game of the week, we are going with none other than my team, the Niners. Vikings at Niners. Joseph was we were just doing some, light talking before the show started, and Joseph mentioned that this felt like a playoff game, and I have to agree. This game was competitive. There were lots of those kinds of epic highs and lows that you expect from a playoff game, and you had two teams that were kind of playing at a high level, going at each other. So it was fun to watch all the way through. So let's go ahead and start off with the first quarter. Things didn't start off so hot for the Niners. On the Niners' opening drive, the Vikings, the Niners won the coin toss. They deferred, so the Vikings started. They punted. The Niners' opening drive, Jimmy threw a pick just right into two defenders. Eric Kendricks picks him off. It seems like Jimmy makes a throw like this every week. Like there's just
Oh,
predictably there will be a throw like that every game. And
it looked like he telegraphed it. It looked like he telegraphed it, and the guy just read it well.
yeah,
Like
that
he
and there was
telegraphed.
also just a
He
lot of
telegraphed it.
traffic. I don't know. It was just ill-advisable all the way around.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, Kendricks definitely made a good play on the ball. It just Jimmy makes a boneheaded throw every week, and occasionally he'll get lucky and it'll get dropped or whatever, but it almost always gets picked off. He was picked off. Luckily, he got it out of his system. That was the only one he threw all game. But Eric Kendricks picks the ball off, and um, actually, Eric Kendricks he's related to Michael Kendricks, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, so Vikings get the ball, and they, uh, well, the Niners leave a wide open Justin Jefferson on the sideline. That was just a blown coverage. And the Vikings get down to fourth and goal at the 2, and Cousins completes a pass to Thielen in the back of the end zone, and it's now 7-0 Vikings. So the Vikings have scored a touchdown off of that turnover. Um, and then the Niners come right back out and answer with a great pass to Brandon Ayuk, a couple of great gash runs by Elijah Mitchell and Debo Debo just cuts the corner and runs into the end zone, ties it up 7-7. So for those of you that don't watch the 49ers, throughout this episode, we'll be talking about Debo a lot. For a couple reasons. Number one, because he's having a verging on a offensive player of the year kind of year, but also because he is a dual threat player. He can catch passes, but he's also really good at the running back position too. He can do jet sweeps. He's not great. He's not a run up the gut kind of player, but if he gets around the corner, he can make you pay, and he did on that play. So after that, the Vikings' next drive, there's a beautiful on a third down. I don't remember the yardage. There was a beautiful open field tackle by a player that the Niners just traded for a couple weeks ago from the Texans, Charles Omenihu. Open field tackle for loss. Vikings punt, and then the Vikings answer that by sacking Jimmy on 3rd and 6. The Niners have to punt. So overall, the first quarter was fairly uneventful. Only 2 touchdowns. And then starting off the second quarter, there was another Cousins and Thielen make another connection. It was an imperfect throw, but Thielen made a nice dive, and he was pretty wide open in the end zone. And they score a touchdown, so it's now 14-7. Joseph, stop me if you have any comments. I'm just going to keep rolling through this.
Yeah.
And then what was that?
I'm waiting for one in particular, so I'm waiting.
Okay. So on the Niners answering drive in the second quarter, just before halftime, the Niners drive down the field. Jimmy passes to Jaywan Jennings, who makes a really great effort to get the feet down, to make sure the ball broke the plane before he stepped out of bounds. He was kind of running directly perpendicular to the sideline, and caught the ball, made sure it broke the plane, got the touchdown, and they go into halftime tied at 14 apiece. So the third quarter is where it gets crazy. In fact, let me do some quick math here. There were 32 points. Was it 32 points scored in the third quarter? No points scored in the fourth. Or no, was it? Yeah, there were no points scored in the fourth, right? It was 34-26 at the end of the third. Yeah. So there were 32 points scored in this crazy third quarter. So as I said earlier, the Niners deferred. So they started with the ball in the second half. There was a phenomenal 49-yard run by Debo on the opening possession. He got a great block and almost broke free, but not quite.
I got to pause you there.
Yeah.
From the highlight version, so I watched a couple times, but did it seem like that they spotted him a couple yards short on where he ended out of bounds?
I didn't pay attention to that, actually. Maybe.
Okay, I felt that and didn't confirm it. I was just a little thrown off when they showed it the next play where it's from the whatever yard line. I don't know for certain, but I felt like maybe it felt like they took a couple yards off that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible. That's very possible. Fortunately, it didn't affect the outcome. Jimmy completes a pass to Kittle, gets him close. I think it's like the 6-4-5 yard line. Then Debo does one of those corner sweeps and runs it in, and the Niners are up 21-14. Debo is a unstoppable player right now. He can't be tackled. He can't be run down. He'll run faster than you. He'll stiff arm you. He gets a crazy number of touches every game. Like he's doing it all right now. And teams haven't shown that they can stop him. Unfortunately, he did get hurt. He has a groin injury. He actually fell down on a play. And afterwards at the press conference, he said that he could feel that it was hurting, and so he just fell over because he knew if he tried to make a play, it would have been a lot more serious. So he made a smart decision to go down. It was a tackle for loss, but I'd rather have that than have him out for 6 weeks instead of 2. So he is going to miss a couple weeks. It's going to hurt not having him up there in Seattle, but he just needs to get healthy and we'll get him back for the I think more important games in a few weeks, the Bengals and Titans games. So anyway, that aside, just wanted to make sure I noted that. He didn't get injured on this touchdown. It was on a later play. So the Vikings get the ball after that Niners touchdown, and on their first drive of the half, Cousins throws an interception to Azeez Al-Shire, who runs it to the 2, and I don't think Cousins saw him. It looked like either that or it looked like Thielen stopped running his route, because it looked like Cousins was sort of expecting Thielen to keep angling, and Thielen it looked like he almost stopped behind the linebacker, and the ball just got intercepted.
So I'm trying to picture in my mind, because there's a couple of bad throws from Cousins I wanted to highlight, and I can't remember if this was one of them or not. There was an interception that Cousins threw that was weird, to where it looked like he kind of pump faked, and he was like, but he looked hesitant, and he still threw it in that direction, and there was just a guy there that picked it off. Was that the one? Was that the one you're talking about?
Yes. He only threw one pick, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that was just weird. Like, he kind of did a move towards the guy, like he was pump faking, and then looked like it's like he hesitated and then just threw it, and it was just a bad throw.
Yeah. So it got picked off. Niners ran it to the 2, and then on 1st and goal, Elijah Mitchell runs it straight in, and the Niners are now up 28-14. Then on the next drive is when the Vikings run that trick play where I don't know who the player was. He throws the ball to, or no, I think it was it Dalvin Cook that?
I think Jefferson threw it to Cook.
Yeah, I think Cook. Well, there was 2 throws. I think Cousins handed it to Cook, who threw it to Jefferson, who threw it back to Cook, and then he ran it. Because there was no one on that side of the field, and he ran it all the way to the 6, and then Madison ran it in for a touchdown, and they missed the PAT. So it's now 28-20. And that was one of the better looking drives that the Vikings had, I thought. And then on the Niners answering drive, they get close. Jimmy throws a deep pass to Debo. They just don't connect in the end zone. They kick a field goal. Niners are up 31-20. And then the Vikings decide to answer with a 99-yard kickoff return touchdown. From, I think, I tried to mimic what the announcers were saying. Kene Nwangwu, I think. Nwangwu. And they go for 2 but miss it. Cousins threw an awful...
Oh, dude, he was open.
It was like he threw it at the ground. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah. I could tell Jefferson was frustrated out on that one.
Because he was open. He was open.
Yeah.
He would have caught it if it was at, chest height.
Dude, even if that ball was like 14 inches higher, he probably could have caught it.
Yeah, it looks like he just threw it at his feet. I don't know. It was a brain fart moment, I think.
Yeah.
So they miss another 2-point, which means they're now down by 5. And it was the correct call to go for it, right? Because it was 26. They were down by 5, so you either end up being down by 5 or down by 3. It doesn't help to be down by 4. So they made the right call by going for it. Cousins made a boneheaded throw. So they're down by 5 still, 31-26. Then the Vikings put up a stop, sack on 3rd down. They get the ball back after a punt, and then this is when it got out of hand. Unfortunately, on this play, the Niners jarred the ball loose from Dalvin Cook, who got really hurt on that play. I don't know what the prognosis was. I did see on the news last night during the Seattle game, they were saying that he's going to be out for a few weeks, but it didn't seem like it was season ending though. So that's good. I'm glad. I like him, and I hope they get him back before the end of the season. So The Niners do recover the fumble, although if you watched the replay in the highlight, it took like 49ers for them to get it. We have a big problem recovering fumbles this season for some reason. I don't know what it is. There was a particular one to the game I went to, the game that they played in against Arizona at Levi's a few weeks ago, that literally, like, there were, if you look at it, there's a meme. 3 Niners were all around the ball. Fred Warner had fallen on the ball, and they don't recover it. So I don't know what's going on there, but they did get this one, fortunately, and the Niners end up kicking a field goal after that turnover. After that, did you see that Kyle Juszczyk tried to hurdle over
Oh
the
my goodness,
defender?
that was so people this year are just hurdling way too much. But that might be simultaneously the funniest yet greatest yet dumbest sport I've ever seen.
Yes.
Because part of it makes sense because maybe he thought he'd get more forward yards by jumping up, and then but he literally, I paused it. He's jumping in like the direct vicinity of 4 guys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Behind him.
Yeah.
So he just jumps into 4 guys and he just like stops. And I guess he thought, you know what? This will hurt less if I, instead of getting tackled, I'll just jump and then hopefully they'll give me forward progress.
Yeah, I think.
It was still like, it was still 3rd down, right? So that was. It was
Yeah, it
funny.
was. I think that was 3rd down because then they had to kick after that. So I think he just thought, I don't know, maybe he thought like, oh, if I get close enough, maybe we'll go for it on 4th or something. I don't know. But he was clearly never going to get, he literally ran into 4 defenders, so he was not going to go anywhere. But it was hilarious. Okay, so then the Niners kick the field goal. They're up 34-26. That did end up being the final score, but there was a whole quarter to play still. So the Vikings, on their answering drive, get a PI on Josh Norman, who leads the league in PI. I don't know why we're still playing him. We have a rookie that's better than him that needs to be getting experience. But it gave the Vikings a ton of yards. And then there was that pass to Thielen that like sort of hit the ground, but was it with his fingers, and they was ruled incomplete. So it was ruled incomplete on the field, and then they confirmed it. But I wasn't really sure what that was because the ball came down, and you could tell that the ball did hit the ground, but his fingers were underneath it the whole time, but his fingers were spread out, right? So the tip of the ball had room to touch the grass, but he never quote unquote lost control of it. So I don't know what that was.
Well, the thing is, and he wasn't touched till after he had control. So honestly, I didn't see the ball hit the ground. I thought the ball bounced off his fingers from hitting the ground. Like the impact of his hand hitting the ground caused the rebound.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they didn't have a clear view to show that. It looked to me like it did touch the ground, but simultaneously his fingers were also underneath it.
I thought he got under it, and I thought he was able to have possession before maintaining it kind of against his helmet before he was eventually, I think, touched. So I watched that several times, a few times, and I'm at least 80% sure that was the catch. So I was a little thrown off when I saw, the next play was like, oh, 3rd and 9. I was like, wait, 3rd and 9? That was incomplete.
Yeah, I was really on the fence about that because I wasn't sure. I felt like I needed to see another angle, but because it got called incomplete on the field, I wasn't surprised that they didn't overturn it. It just didn't look like there was enough clear evidence to overturn. So that happened. It was 3rd and 9, and then on that, I think it was on the next play, the Vikings fumble, but they recover. And I don't know if you saw it, Josh Norman butt slammed a Viking on the ground. They were in a pile, and Josh Norman, there was a guy that was, I guess, trying to get to the fumbled ball, and Josh Norman landed on top of him and then just turned around, put both of his hands together in a fist like he's about to, do a whack-a-mole move or something, and then just slams the guy on the butt. And I don't know what for, because it had no impact on anybody getting the ball, but it wasn't flagged or anything. It was the weirdest thing. I'll send you a little clip of it later, or like show you what the timestamp is so you can see it again. It's weird. But yeah, that happened, but the Vikings did recover their ball. Then they had to go for it on fourth down with. So actually, I shouldn't say that. They didn't have to go for it on fourth down. They did go for it on fourth down with 9:04 left. And I thought that was a little weird. I don't remember where they were on the field. I think they were in field goal range. Not that it would have mattered necessarily because they were down by 8. But what would you have done in that situation? Do you feel like they should have just kicked?
So being on the 3-yard line, it's going to be more like a trick play or pass play or something. My issue is less about the fourth down and the 3-yard line. My issue is the play that they ran, because they go with the fake run. Only 4 guys rushed. They had, I believe, a tight end there. Their offensive line did terrible blocking. 2 guys, maybe even 3, were able to. Yeah, it was 2. Were able to get to Cousins. He had to rush throw it in the end zone, and it looks like he might have had Cook open on the left-hand side, who could have, probably bullied his way into the end zone. So it was just a bad play call, and atrocious. I watched it several times. Atrocious blocking on the offensive line, with only 4 guys rushing, and 2 got through. It was just a bad play call for that situation. That was weird.
Yeah, I agree. And slight correction, it would have been Madison because Cook was hurt. But yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. So, that was a weird situation. And then the Niners get the ball back since it was a turnover on downs and end up burning 7 minutes and 9 seconds off of the clock, and all to miss a 42-yard field goal. So it's now, I think, at 1:56 left. I think the Vikings had no timeouts and they needed a touchdown. They do get down to like the Niners 40 or something, but then they go for it on 4th and 8 and it's an incomplete pass.
He was open. Cousins just made a bad throw. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's like when I watched it, it was like he didn't know his own strength, or like the ball caught a pocket of air. Like it just stayed up. Like you watch it and he threw it, and it's like he threw it too hard or he didn't know it. Because the previous throw, it was weird. The previous one on 3rd and 8, he like almost threw a duck. I don't know if it hit a finger or if he missed through it, but he like threw it too soft, and one of the defenders was able to get to it. And then the next throw, he throws it just a little too high, a little too hard. If that ball was only 6 inches shorter, Jefferson would have caught that easily. So he underthrows the first one, then he overthrows the second one, and he was open. He was open, and they would have been down there, and who knows what they could have done.
Yeah. So that ended the game because there were 13 seconds left on the clock, and the Niners get the ball on the turnover and kneel down once to close it out. So 34-26, Niners win. Final score. Awesome game. Huge win for the Niners, not just to put them at 6-5, but also to beat the Vikings, who will inevitably be in the hunt at the end of the season. So to have that tie break is very significant. I should mention Fred Warner also got, a lot of guys got hurt in this game. This was they played a physical football game. Debo got hurt. He's going to be out a couple weeks. Fred Warner got hurt. He's going to be out a couple weeks. Dre Greenlaw got dinged up. He's probably going to be out a week or 2. I know Cook got hurt pretty bad. He's out for a few weeks. I think there were a couple other guys from the Vikings that went down too. So it was rough on the injury front for both teams. I don't think there were any like ACLs or anything like that. Oh, Trey Sermon also got hurt. That was an ankle thing. I think he's going to be out probably for a little while. So yeah, that was rough on the injury front, but nothing season ending that I know of. So any comments on that game before we move on to our next segment, Joseph?
Whew. That was a game, all right.
It was indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Our second segment of the night is Who Wrecked Face this week, and we've got I think this is our first week without a quarterback.
Ever?
Well, at least this season. I think this is our first week without a quarterback. I don't know about ever.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and go first.
All right.
So we have Leonard Fournette for the Bucks, 100 rushing yards on a 5.9 average, 3 touchdowns, and then also 31 receiving yards and another touchdown. So 4 touchdowns for him. And then the Tennessee Titans rushing. Listen to this. Combined, they had 270 rushing yards on a 6.9 average, which, by the way, Derrick Henry is still out, and that's what they did, with 1 rushing touchdown. Oh, did you see that they hired Adrian Peterson for a few weeks and then dropped him?
Yes.
Did
he actually play any snaps?
Yeah, he played a good amount. He just wasn't very efficient. He was probably only averaged like 3 yards a carry or less. So he wasn't very I
think we should note too that the Titans had that performance and they got killed by the Patriots. They lost 36-13 but had 270 rushing yards somehow.
Yeah, and then Joe Mixon, 165 rushing yards on a 5.9 average and 2 touchdowns. And then I have your 2 receivers. Hunter Renfrow for the Raiders, 8 of 9, 8 receptions, 9 targets, 134 yards. And then very close in stats, Jalen Waddle for the Dolphins in a big win over the Panthers. 9 receptions, 10 targets, 137 yards, and 1 touchdown. And we'll end with wreck face. Who got wrecked?
Jalen Waddle was a top 10 pick last year, wasn't he? Or this last draft?
He was number 6.
Oh, wow. Okay. Has he played like a number 6?
I'm happy with how he's played, and with further quarterback connections. Yeah, he's a talented player. Yeah.
Okay, good.
We needed that position, and yeah. So I'll take it.
Do you want to do your got wrecked and then I'll do mine?
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll do that. So Carolina Panthers passing. There was that hype. Cam Newton came back on and he had a good game in his first game back.
Oh, there was hype. There was definitely hype.
And then he did this.
But Joseph, who squashed that hype?
The backup, who was also bad?
No, who squashed the hype?
Who squashed? Oh man, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
The Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. That is good. I'm happy about that. Yeah, that was a big win, and I'm glad we could do that. But listen to this, folks. Cam Newton was 5 of 21 for 92 yards, 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And then PJ Walker comes in, and he's 5 of 10 for 87 yards, 0 touchdowns and an interception. So combined 10 of 31, 134 yards, 0 touchdowns and 3 picks for a weighted average passer rating of 13.4.
Oh my goodness.
That was pretty bad. Go ahead.
It looks like Xavier Howard got a pick in this game, so he only has to get 8 more to beat what he did last season.
Oh, he only has 2 this year?
3 after that.
Okay.
Yeah. He had 10 last year.
He might be getting the Minka Fitzpatrick treatment, where like Minka had that ridiculous season back in.
Teams just don't target him.
Yeah, and so Minka's stats are down. Well, yeah, because he's not. They're not throwing to the receivers he's guarding.
Yeah. Okay,
and then
so
he ended up still getting all pro, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that was also a Sherman thing too in his later seasons. So rushing, I've got Leonard Fournette for the Bucks, had 17 carries on 100 yards, 5.9 average, 3 rushing touchdowns, but then he also had 7 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown, so 4 total touchdowns 131 total yards. And then just the 49ers rushing, 39 carries on 208 yards, 5.3 average, 3 touchdowns. And then specifically, I want to shout out Elijah Mitchell, who, if you guys haven't been paying attention to this guy, start paying attention. He's a 6th-round pick, 32 touches, 168 yards, and a touchdown. He has been dominant in the games he has played. He's started. I think he's gotten the majority of the carries in like 4 or 5 games so far this season. He's had a lot of yards. He's a great running back. And then we've got defense. We got some great defensive picks this week. Darius Leonard, 15 tackles, a forced fumble, and a pass defended. Ronnie Harrison for the safety for the Browns had 14 tackles, an interception, and a pass defended. Who, by the way, the Cleveland Browns. This reminds me of that little anecdote you told me about the guy that the guy in like was about to pass away or something. He said he wanted the Browns to let him down one more time. So the Browns picked off Jackson 4 times and lost. So the next
one, the Browns might not make the playoffs, man.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. So at this point, I feel better about the Dolphins making it than the Browns, probably.
Hey, I'll take that.
I mean, you're only 1 game back from them. Do you play them?
No.
Okay. So the next pick, there's some dominance in this. J1 Bentley for a linebacker for the Patriots had 10 tackles, a sack, and 2 forced fumbles. Pat Surtain for the Broncos, five tackles, 2 interceptions, one of which was a pick 6. And then lastly, Jalen Phillips for the linebacker for the Dolphins, 4 tackles, 3 sacks, a pass defended, and 4 QB hits.
Nice. Dude, Pat and Diggs are just playing on beast mode this year.
Those are both picks this year, right?
Yes.
Diggs was for sure. I think Surtain was either this year or last year.
And I think they both play for the same college.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm 90% sure they both play for Alabama. Yeah.
Nice. And then I have got wrecked. Saints rushing. 25 carries for 44 yards, which is a 1.8 average. No touchdowns.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay, so our third segment of the night is Commentators Say the Darnest Things, and I love when commentators do video game references, and we've done a couple of those in the past. This one was from the 49er game. He was talking about Deebo Samuel. Ironically, it was after a Vikings touchdown. They just started showing replays of Deebo Samuel runs, and as soon as he said, I forget who the guy was, but he said, as soon as he turns that corner, it's like he presses a turbo button. You know how you press really hard on the controls for your PS5? Doot, 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 doot. He starts scooting out of there.
Oh, I should have listened to the game.
I have the timestamp if you want to go back to it.
Of course.
Okay, so and you said you didn't have any this week, right?
No.
Yeah. So this next segment is our Tricky Picks segment, and we didn't have any to report on from the last 2 weeks, but we do have some fresh picks for this upcoming week.
Excuse me. Okay. Tricky Picks. Okay, 3 of them. So, first one, these are simple ones. Bucks, Falcons. Will Kyle Pitts have more receiving yards than the second receiver on the Bucks?
Yes.
Okay, I said no. Let me put these down for you.
This is at Falcons, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say yes.
Chargers, Bengals. First to throw 2 passing touchdowns, Herbert or Burrow?
I'll say Herbert.
Yeah, I said Burrow.
You would.
Well, if Herbert having I can't say uncharacteristically because it's his second year, but Herbert's not playing as well as he was earlier and how I thought he would. So I'm just giving it to the home team.
That
And Burrow.
combined with the fact that Joe Burrow is a reincarnation of Peyton Manning.
Moving on. Patriots Bills. Will there be a touchdown scored in each quarter, independent of the team?
Huh. I'm going to say no.
Okay, I said yes. We differed on all of them. That's a first, or it's been a while since that's happened. Okay, yeah. Well, someone is guaranteed to lose this time. Actually, that's not the case.
I say that because the both defenses are playing pretty well right now. So I can foresee a quarter where there's just a couple of field goals or something.
I think I agree. I can agree with that. Take back what I said. We can still tie if we differ on the first and third pick. The second pick can be a draw because if neither reach 2 touchdowns, then it's a draw. So, but we'll see. What's our total record for tricky picks right now?
So total record, I'm 22-26, and you're 21-27.
Okay.
Okay, so last segment of the night, our predictions, segment number 5. So these last 2 weeks, I was 20-10. Joseph was 19-11. So I did pick up one game. I was 3 games behind. I am now only 2 games behind. I am 107-72-1, which is only 59.8%. I thought that going 20-10 would raise my percentage more than 1.5 percentage points, but it didn't. So I'm still under 60. Joseph is 109-70-1, which is 60.9. So we're going to have some pretty strong weeks to close out the season if we want to get our records up to what we got last year.
I don't know, man. Weren't we at like 64% last year?
I was at 67. You were at 63.5. So I'm not going to be able to get back up to mine, but you could get up to 63, I think.
We'll see.
If you have a couple of good weeks. Okay, so our week 13 predictions. I'll go ahead and start off with the first game, our Thursday night game in a couple of days. Cowboys at Saints. I'm going Cowboys.
Same. Bucks at Falcons. Bucks.
Same. Cardinals at Bears. Come on. Cardinals. Yeah, even if Murray doesn't play, it's still Cardinals.
Yeah. Chargers at Bengals. This one's tough. This was a tough one. I'm just going home team on Bengals.
Yeah, same logic for me. Vikings at Lions. Vikings.
Same. Giants at Dolphins. If the Dolphins don't win this game, yeah.
Fire the coach.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're picking them as well.
Yeah, I picked Dolphins too. Eagles at Jets. This was actually one of the hardest games on the list.
Well, I thought the Eagles were going to win last week. They couldn't beat the Giants?
No, they lost, what was it, 10-7 or something like that?
13-7?
Yeah,
10-7?
yeah. So the Jets won last week, and I don't know, man. I picked Eagles, but I don't feel good about this.
44 points a couple weeks ago? They're weird.
They're really inconsistent. That's why it's weird. So the Jets, I picked Eagles, but don't spend any money on this game, please.
I picked Eagles as well, and this is as close as it gets to a 50-50 game.
Yes.
Colts, Texans, going Colts.
Same. Football team, Raiders.
This one might be a trap game. I'm going Raiders, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose.
Same. Jaguars at Rams. Oh, wait, I read the last one, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
So
Jags at Rams. Yeah. Jags at Rams. Going Rams, no problem.
Same. Rams, they need to win. They're on a 3-game skid right now. It's the Jags are the team that wakes other teams up in the league right now. Ravens at Steelers. I don't feel good about this at all. The Steelers are
bad.
really inconsistent and mostly
Yeah.
bad, but they're at home, and the Ravens their offense has been kind of lackluster, and they're on the road where they don't
The
typically
Dolphins
play very well.
Dolphins beat the Ravens a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they did. And I don't know, man. I'm going Ravens, but this is another one I don't feel good about.
Yeah, an NFC North game. These teams beat each other up. Both these teams have a lot of injuries, I believe. I think the Ravens have a ton of, and Steelers are not playing the same. The division game in Pittsburgh. Yeah, this one's probably a 55-45, somewhere around there. I think the Ravens just have enough talent, and I think Lamar Jackson's more likely to find a way to win than the Steelers coming out and having enough offense and simultaneously having the defense to win.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I agree.
I'm next, I think. Niners at Seahawks. Going Niners. Going Niners.
Okay. I'm so I'm going Seahawks.
Oh my! I'm gonna throw up. Right, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna end the show. We had this talk before the show. We had a pre-show talk, and I told you my opinion.
No, I know, but I know your opinion, and you're entitled to it. I know Russell Wilson's been playing poorly, and I know that we're hot right now. But with Debo out and Warner out and just, Jimmy being kind of inconsistent, I kind of see us going up there and Russell Wilson wakes up a little bit. Our offense is a little bit off and we lose like a 23-17 kind of game. I don't want that. I don't want that. And there's a good chance that won't happen, but I can totally see that happening.
So that's fair. I did not know that Debo and Ward were out before I made my pick.
But yes, Ward is
fine.
What did I say? Jimmy Ward is fine. Fred Warner is out.
Oh, sorry, Warner. Yeah, so Warner and Debo, I didn't know they were out before I made my pick, but I'll stick with Niners.
Okay. All right. I hope you're right, man. Broncos at Chiefs. I mean, Chiefs. They need this.
I'm thinking the same thing you are, and that probably is, Chiefs. But what in the world happened with the Broncos beating the Chargers last week?
Just one of those messy division games, I guess.
Yeah. So,
what's the Broncos' record right now?
I think they're 6-5.
Are they really 6-5?
Dude, it's so weird. And,
oh my goodness! So they're actually in the hunt right now, which is crazy.
Yeah. Dude, Raiders.
Let me check Broncos, this to verify.
Oh yeah, dude, look at the teams. If the Chiefs lose, it's gonna be madness. Look at the standings right now.
Yeah, so the Chiefs are 7-4, and then all three other teams are 6-5.
Yeah, so this is just weird, just really weird. There's some crazy games going on. The North is close. So, and to end the week, Patriots at Bills. Going Bills. I think they, turn around in terms of the whole season. I know they won last week, but they turned things around. But Patriots, hottest team in football, and
easily.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying that. And if the Patriots win this game, Jeremy and I were talking before the show, if the Patriots win this game, that'll probably seal the deal for them winning the division.
Yes, I think so.
So that's
So I'm going Patriots actually, but this is another one of those I could easily be wrong. There's like 5 I could easily be wrong on this, unfortunately, this week. But yeah,
so we differed on 3.
Well, we differed on 2, right?
Oh.
Niners, Seahawks, and Patriots, Bills. Was there one earlier I missed?
I
don't think so, because you went Raiders, right?
Yeah, and you went Eagles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're the same.
Yeah, so we have 2 different. So, yeah, the Patriots are the hottest team in football, and the Niners are the second hottest team in football.
And the Dolphins are third.
And yeah, the Niners and the Patriots are like that blue kind of flame, And then you guys are like that simmering orange, right? That nobody notices, but you guys are on the rise.
Hey man, we won 4 in a row. We beat the Ravens. I'll take it.
I want to see you guys in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I think the talent's been there. We just haven't clicked, and because we lost, I think 6 or 7 in a row. I think we lost 7 in a row.
I love watching your ugly jerseys.
We well, I love when we go to the classics. The classics, the '90s, the throwbacks. When we ever use those are beautiful. The '90s Dolphins jerseys are just amazing.
Okay, I'll have to look that up afterwards. But the jerseys you guys use now are
I know.
bottom 5.
Trust me, I know it's lame, but classic a 1990s Dolphins jersey is pretty nice. So.
Okay, so Browns, Packers, Titans, and Panthers are all on bye this week, and we decided our game of the week is going to be none other than Monday night Patriots at Bills. That was the clear best choice, barring a blowout. We'll be talking about Patriots Bills next week. Before we end the show, Joseph, now that I'm thinking about it, ugliest jersey. Which team has the ugliest jersey in football?
Oh man.
And this is just the standard jersey, no like throwbacks or alternatives, just standard jersey.
I feel like we need to almost do a. We almost need to do a series on this.
I think we do. I think we need not next week because we're going to do our playoff segment next week, but maybe the week after that, or when we have a lull. We should do our 3 favorite and 3 ugliest jerseys in football.
Yeah, just go through all the home and away jerseys. I'll tell you this now. I know this kind of breaks your answer, but I'll tell you this: when they do the throwback, when it's like Steelers Browns, there's some throwback jerseys that I just can't stand.
Which is the team that has that like camouflage? Is that the Rams?
So the Bears. When it's like Veterans Day, I think they'll do like Soldier Field. They'll do that. I believe
that one's really ugly.
But I think it's when the Browns and the Steelers do throwbacks. Like one of them looks like a bumblebee.
Yes, I hate that one.
and
the Seattle like neon green.
Lime green. Oh yeah. Yeah, those are okay. This sounds, I want to throw up almost saying this, but the Seahawks do have some nice regular home jerseys. They kind of do.
They do. I agree. The blue is nice.
It's actually kind of fun. Packers pretty classic. Falcons home jersey with the black.
Yeah, Falcons home is okay. Packers is for me.
Yeah. The Bucks away jerseys, the white with the dark helmet, the grayish
one's
helmet.
Nice.
Ravens is kind of neutral, not great, not bad. It's an okay, it's a decent one. Chargers can pull off a good one, I think. Yeah, this will be fun. We'll have to go through this more in depth and list this out because this will be a fun segment to do.
Yeah, I agree. We'll do that in a couple of weeks. And if you send in your suggestions on YouTube, if you have your favorites, we'll read them off on the show. And
really quick.
You have to if you list a jersey, you have to list your reason why you like it or why you hate it.
I don't know how common this is for you guys, but when you guys are away and you wear white with the gold helmet.
Yeah, I love that. Our throwback white jerseys are really nice.
Yeah, and I like the gold helmet look.
Yeah.
Now, your regular home jerseys, I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest, bro.
They're okay. Yeah, the regular red gold pants, it's okay. It does nothing special. It wouldn't be in a top 3 or bottom 3, but it's just kind of eh.
All right, cool. We'll have to look forward to doing this.
All right. So that is a wrap for this week. We are planning to have a show next week, not planning to skip next week like we did last week. If you did not fall asleep during tonight's episode or any of our past episodes, please like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube, as those are free ways for you to support our show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at The Practice Squad and at Neuralizer_. Just as a reminder, if you've missed past episodes, you can watch or listen to them right here on my YouTube channel. Tonight's show will be available immediately after we go offline. As always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.